Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast. Today we are talking about the happy holiday feeling. So is it a happy holidays or are they? So if you're someone that has really, the holidays typically bring a lot of joy and happiness to your life. And instead, because of the loss that you're dealing with, you have a lot of anxiety going into this holiday season about how you're going to move forward and how you're going to celebrate. So we thought today's topic was very timely to give you some ideas about what we're going to cover. I'm going to show you a little bit about what we're going to cover. So a couple things we're going to talk about. First, combating the negative. So what about annual holiday traditions? What about setting realistic expectations? And how do we rise above the dark clouds? And we're also going to talk about using gratitude to heal. And to talk with us today, we have Lori Freeman, who I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lori Freeman, and I'm a certified grief recovery specialist in the grief recovery method. After enduring quite a few losses in my lifetime, I felt the passion to help other people who are going through grief move beyond the being stuck phase of grief and being able to realize that life is worth living and you can be happy. I hold grief recovery programs online and in person at my office in Littleton.
Awesome. So again, today's topic, we're going to talk about the happy holidays, or really are they? And to get us started, we're going to talk about, after you experience a loss, we really sometimes tend to focus on the negatives, what we don't have and what we've lost when we experience that kind of traumatic loss in our life. But today we're going to really kind of give you some tools to move forward and combat those negative feelings. So let's talk about this first one here today. What about annual holiday traditions? So holiday traditions are things that you've done all your life, and you may have a very big emotional tie to that human being in your life that you did lose. So Lori, what do people do about these annual holiday traditions?
Well, some people will keep the traditions that they've had, and some people will want to create new traditions. So you might want to keep all of the traditions that you've used, or you might want to just take some and put them on the shelves. They're too painful for you to deal with right now, and maybe bring them out later, or maybe not bring them out again. But using the traditions, honors your family's traditions and honors your loved one. But you also might want to create a new tradition. So I lost my son in April and my husband in November of the same year. And I knew there was no way I was going to be able to do Christmas or the holidays like I had done for the 20 years before that. So I decided on the spur of the moment, I was going to have a holiday open house, and I was going to invite all my son's friends and my husband's friends. I had food all over the place. And I had about 70 people that came through. And it was so comforting to me to have all those people come through, because we talked about the loved ones, and we shared stories and memories, and we shared food that the loved ones had. So my son loved the Great American Chocolate Cake, cheese sticks, and water. He would eat those all together. Really gross combination, by the way, but he did. So the main food that was displayed was the cake, the cheese sticks, and water. And it was such a nice afternoon because I could see that his friends were doing okay. They could see I was doing okay, and that we shared our memories and our love for that person. But your family is individual and unique. You could do a new tradition. You could light candles for them. You could donate money to a charity that they liked. You could have an open house, or you could just donate your time to help other people. It's whatever feels comfortable for you and your family to create a new tradition.
Yeah, and as we move forward with today's content, we do want to remind you that one of the core values of what Lori teaches and moves through with the grief recovery method is your feelings are normal and natural. So we all experience loss in a different way. We all sort of handle those emotions in a different way, and we want you to know that that's completely normal and natural. There's no one way to move through any type of loss. Naturally, you're going to handle it a little different than another person, and another person is going to handle it a little differently with you. But I love that about sort of changing the holiday traditions, and do what's comfortable for you. But if that's something that gives you a lot of anxiety, gives you a lot of stress, then we encourage you to make those changes. So let's talk about our second point, which is setting realistic expectations. Now, we're talking to you, the person that really is trying to hold it all together. You, because you just know you need to, no matter how you're feeling inside, you're covering those up and you're thinking, I'm going to trudge through this, and this holiday is going to be the same as every other holiday. Talk about the expectations that we set for ourselves.
What you need to do is you need to talk to your family and your friends. You need to say what you can do and what you can't do, what you want to keep as part of your traditions and what you don't think you can handle at this year. So, your family and your friends generally just want to support you, but if you don't talk to them, if you don't communicate with them what you feel you can and cannot do, then you're putting a lot of undue strain on them and on yourself, because that's kind of leaving it for them to figure out, try to guess what it is you want. So to have the open line of communication to say, hey, I want to keep this. I don't think I can do this year. But then also letting them know that if you want this, but you don't feel you can put it together, delegate it out. These family and friends, they want to help you. And if they can help you do your holiday the way you want it to be, it's giving them comfort to be able to help you. And in a way, it's giving them comfort that they are part of the process and they are helping you grieve and go through that journey.
Because your friends want to be there for you. Your family wants to be there for you. And often if we try to shoulder it all and not say what we need or what we want help with this year, then we end up handling that on our own. So setting realistic expectations is so important. And I want to pause there for a check-in. If you're watching this either live or the replay, we're talking about happy holidays, or are they? For someone that experienced a traumatic loss in their life, when we come up to the holiday seasons, there's a lot of stress and anxiety around the holidays. What used to be the most joyous time of year, all of a sudden we're wondering how we're going to find any joy in the holidays. So we're talking about some core values today about your feelings being normal and natural, and we're talking about combating the negative. So if you are someone that has experienced a loss and you've gotten through the holidays, we'd love to hear from you in the comments about what you did, because your ideas can really empower someone who is brand new, who is fresh, who maybe have just lost someone a month ago, 2 months ago. Your fresh ideas about what you've done to get through the holidays could really help them move forward. So let's talk about the third one, Lori. The third one being rising above the dark clouds. Now, when we talk about the dark clouds, we know that in recovery, these clouds are going to come in. The storm's going to come in. It's part of the process. Now, talk about how we, this holiday season, can kind of get above those dark clouds.
So, at this time of the year, there's so many things out there that are stimuli to the holidays, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the lights, all of those can be overwhelming to you when you are going through grief. You see happy families out there celebrating the holiday, Hallmark Movie Channel, all those just make you feel more overwhelmed that your loved one isn't there with you right now. So it's hard to feel thankful when you are not feeling that in your life right now. But that, like we've been talking about, it's okay. Your feelings are normal and they're natural. And be able to just feel those emotions. Let yourself cry. Let yourself be angry, because these are all ways of dealing with your loss. And, crying is it's good. It's a reset. It helps you get some of those emotions out of your system so you can start to think a little more clearly. But you need to be able also to start to appreciate your happy family and start to have fond memories of your loved one. And that will help you on your grief recovery journey.
Yeah, it's important to remember the good times. We know that, right?
Right.
That's really important. And sometimes those good times can bring negative emotions at times, but that's okay. It's important to remember them and keep those memories alive. As a person in my own family that's has lost 2 of our family members to suicide, it's important to move forward. It's important to remember. It's important to have those good memories. But when you feel those dark clouds coming, do the steps that we're talking about to help yourself kind of get above, because that's not always the greatest place we want to be in, but sometimes we find ourselves stuck. So that brings us to one of the last things we really want to talk about today. And the whole topic of this live is gratitude. It's really finding those positive things in life and pulling them out. So we're going to talk about our last point, which is using gratitude to heal. This is a big healing function. And Lori, talk about things people can do with gratitude to really move forward.
Well, gratitude is one of the best healing tools around, and I use it every single day. I get up in the morning and I look for the little tiny blessings in my life. My bedroom window, I can see the sunrise. That's a blessing. My little grandson will come into my room when he wakes up and, I love you, Grandma. That's a blessing. Having a friend talk to you and go for a walk with, eating good food, having a nice glass of wine, a rainbow. Those are things that we can be thankful for. And by making a list, just even a little list every day about what you are thankful for, will go a long way to lifting you out of those clouds and the negativity, and start shifting your mindset to more positive things than dwelling in the world of the negative. You can be grateful for the time that you had with that loved one, how they enriched your life and how they loved you and how you loved them. That is a little blessing that you can have if you could remember those fond times, because gratitude works. And if you could just, it's not hard to do, if you just take a little baby steps at a time and do that every day, you're going to get out of those dark clouds and you're going to start to feel happier and be more appreciative of what you have left in life, not just dwelling on what's gone, but what you have left.
Yeah. So really remembering the times that you had with that loved one, remembering how that loved one sort of impacted your life in a positive way, and being grateful.
Yes.
It's a very powerful practice that if you put into action, you'll be surprised how those dark clouds, that storm we were talking about, you'll be surprised how simple gratitude techniques can help you kind of get above and say, you know what? I have a great house. I have a great family still. I have a great job. I have great things in my life, and I'm going to use those to kind of move forward. So if you are someone in your life and you're looking to get out of that dark cloud, you've struggled, it's affected you for years, and you don't quite know how to move forward, then I do want to encourage you, if you're interested, to reach out to Lori. So
yes,
Lori does the Grief Recovery Method, which is a really step-by-step evidence-based platform to help you overcome that grief in your life, to help you move forward. So for anybody that's brand new or might not know about it, why don't you talk a little bit about the program and how it works?
So the program is a 7-week program. We have reading, and we talk about, the myths of grief, all those things that we're taught by our parents who were taught by their parents. Be strong. Time heals all wounds. Don't cry.
Stay busy.
Stay busy. Oh, I was really good at staying busy. Those things don't help us in our grieving process. We talk about things that people use to make themselves feel better. Retail therapy, too much exercise, maybe too much substance abuse. Those things don't make us feel better. They just make us feel different for a little while. And then we start looking at, all the losses we've had in our life. A lot of losses, people just say, oh, this is just part of life. You lose a job. It's part of life. You move away from your friends. It's part of life. But those all entail a grieving experience. And so we look at all the losses we've had in our life and try to find a pattern on how we handle all the losses that we've had. And then we go ahead and look at the relationship you had with your loved one. Because a relationship is good and bad together. It's not, oh, he was all good or he was all bad. A relationship is a two-way street, and we all have parts in it, good and bad. And then we learn about what undelivered communications do we need to say to make ourselves complete our loss. What do we need to apologize for? You know, what do we need to forgive for? And what do we just need to say? Like, maybe we said it and they didn't hear it, or maybe we thought we were going to say it, but circumstances didn't allow us to do it. So we learn what we need to say, and then we communicate that, and then you feel so much better. It's so transformational. When I did the program with the loss of my husband, I had been angry at him for so long. I didn't remember the good things about it. So going through the program helped me realize that, hey, I love this man. I was married to him for 32 years. We had a good life. But because of his death, I didn't look at it that way. So by the time I delivered all those communications, it was transformational. I mean, I still get goosebumps when I think about how I felt when I finally finished that communication. It was awesome.
That's powerful. And what we want more for you than anything is to move past. Now, some people are able to move past on their own, and some people do need a little bit of outside support. So if you trudge through it on your own and you've done well, then great for you. Keep up the good work and reach down a hand and maybe pull somebody up. But if you're someone that is stuck in a vicious cycle of not moving on, not feeling normal, not getting to really thrive in your life because of whatever loss that you've had, because let's be clear, just because someone loses a human being in their life doesn't mean it's any more traumatic for someone who lost a pet or someone who lost a job or whatever it is. Trauma affects us all differently. So whatever it is you're struggling with, we just want you to know there's help, and we want you to do your best this year to have an amazing holiday season.
Correct.
So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you say in your life this year, and use these practices to move forward through your life. So any final thoughts, Lori?
Yeah, reach out to me if you have any questions about how to do gratitude, or, what about changing my traditions? Just reach out to me.
Have a
conversation. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone and help you.
Yeah. And it's always helpful for anybody that needs to hear this information and not feel so alone during the holidays to click the share button and get this out so that more people may see what this is all about. So thanks for your time today, Lori.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking about Happy Holidays, or are they? And please do subscribe to the channel if you do want more updates and more content, because we're going to be doing a live video in December about as we kind of move up into the Christmas season as well.
Correct.
So have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.